All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. When you hear the song, you know what time it is. The TD Markets Academy, TD Markets Exchange Trading Room, TDM Crypto Decrypted. Good afternoon and welcome back to the very last session for 2025. Man, it's been a roller coaster. It's been exciting. It had its own highs and lows. But hey, listen, we live for these moments, right? I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back, like I said, to the very last trading room for 2025. We'll see you guys back in 2026 from the 5th of January 2026, right? But I hope that you guys are having a good December. We are wrapping up business. We are concluding our trading and all of that, right? But remember, the office is still open. You can send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com for any account queries. In terms of the academy, we are going on a festive break. We'll see you guys back on the 5th of Jan, all right? It has been an interesting year. It really has been an interesting year. We are looking at Trump's second term. His administration took office in January. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to have a look at the crypto, what has been happening throughout the year, what it has survived, and so forth and so on, right? But before we get started, remember, if you guys want to sign up for a TDME account on our exchange, the website is tdmarkets.io or it's tdme.io, right? So tdmarkets.io or tdme.io. It will take you to this homepage where you can sign up for a free TDME account and you can claim your 50 ZAC, right? Upon registration. Now, when you make your first deposit, you also claim another 50 ZAC. So now listen to this. This is 50 ZAC upon registration, and you get another 50 ZAC when you make your first deposit. Now, ZAC is a stable coin, right? It's a rand-pegged stable coin. We are going to have a conversation around stable coin. The last time I was with you guys, we went through some education. We went through some indicators in crypto that the big boys use, right? So we're going to have a conversation about stable coin, which is slowly taking over the world, all right? Not only Africa, but the world. So stable coins, we're going to have a look at that, right? But ZAC is our TD Markets rand-pegged stable coin, meaning 1 ZAC is equals to 1 rand, all right? So when you talk about 50 ZAC, we talk about effectively talking about 50 rands, all right? It's a rand-pegged stable coin. So when you make your first, or rather when you sign up for your first account, upon registration, you get your 50 ZAC. When you make a deposit, you also claim or get to claim your 50 ZAC. All right, then you can use your ZAC to also transact. So this is the website, simple and easy to use, elegant, straightforward, nothing funky, elegant, straightforward. So have a look at that. That is tdmarkets.io. And once you have signed up and everything, it will take you to our exchange where we trade derivatives. All right, this is a TD Markets exchange. It's purely centered around crypto. We're talking about crypto, so we are trading derivatives, right? Crypto derivatives. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that just to get the formalities out of the way. Now let's get to the meat, right? Let's get to the meat. Now, we've been doing these sessions and we've shown you guys what's happening beyond the charts, all right? What's happening beyond the charts. You look at the charts, you can do your analysis, but now it's important as a trader to also have an idea of what's happening beyond the charts. I think that will make a great title. Beyond the charts. TD Markets Beyond the Charts. Yeah, no, I think that will make a great title. Now I'm going to present this to my brother Ash. Anyway, so you have to look at what's happening beyond the charts, and we have been telling you guys about different indicators. We spoke about inflows and outflows, or crypto inflows and outflows. Let me go to it. Let me see where. There we go. The last time I was with you guys, we spoke about crypto inflows, outflows, and how it impacts the price of crypto, the price of Bitcoin, the price of Ethereum, because we're talking about BTC ETFs and Ethereum ETFs, right? So I think let's start with that. Now, look what has happened, right? Quickly, let's go back to the chart. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart, and then you're going to go back. So for the past couple of days, this is what Bitcoin has done, all right? I'm just going to highlight this portion. This is what Bitcoin has done. It has gone into some sort of a consolidation, which is effectively a corrective pattern. And if we go to the inflows, right? If you go to your crypto ETFs tracker, you will notice that for the past couple of days, we had a lot of inflows, BTC inflows, right? And also a few ETH inflows. As a result, that's when we saw price pushing a little bit towards the upside and consolidating. But now in the last 24 hours, this is what happened in the last 24 hours, right? We've had outflows. Now look at this graph on its own, guys, right? In fact, let me just do this. What I'm about to show you right now, it's important to understanding what's happening in the cryptos beyond the charts, all right? So now look at this graph, right? This graph tells a story, and we all know that crypto, the ones who benefit are the ones who are able to read the story, all right? So look at the story. You can clearly see that one day there's a lot of inflows, the next day a lot of outflows. So it's just fluctuating, right? From inflows, outflows. So it's been a while since we've had consistent inflows or consistent outflows, right? The next day it's outflows, the next day inflows. So definitely there's a lot of manipulation that's happening right now, right? Imagine, let me give you guys a scenario. Imagine we sit, we're anticipating a particular move on the crypto as a whole. And then for that particular day, we see there's been a lot of inflows, right? Now, when we see inflows, already we are starting to create ideas and starting to have, start to think that, okay, this could be positive for the crypto, for BTC or ETF. And as such, we would anticipate price to push towards the upside, all right? On that day, that is what we see. And then the next day, right, we see, no, man, there's now outflows, right? So ETF outflows. So the previous 24 hours, there was a lot of ETF inflows, but now there's ETF outflows. So what does this mean? It means there's pure manipulation in the market, right? We're going to touch on that a little bit later on. So this is what the cryptocurrency ETF tracker is looking. If we focus purely on Bitcoin, this is the Bitcoin ETFs, all right? You can see there was a lot of inflows, but now there's a bit of outflows, right? If you take a look at the Ethereum, you will see basically the same thing. There's been majority of outflows. But now what I love about this is if we focus on only this piece, right? On the right hand side, you will notice that there has been outflows. Now I want us to focus on BTC, right? BTC is the orange one. There has been outflows, but notice how these outflows are kind of like giving us a support, right? They kind of like giving us an ascending situation here. So if you were to draw a trend line, your trend line would basically ascend, right? So as much as there are outflows, but these outflows are not as strong as they were previously in the last 24 hours or the last week, which is encouraging, right? It's giving us a bit of signs. Now, at the same time, it's a bit early to speculate that this will push the price of Bitcoin up. It's a little bit too early for that, but these are encouraging signs. This is what will then help us create trading plans on how we're going to approach Bitcoin in the first half of 2026, all right? Things like that. So this is how things are looking on the ETF tracker. And then if you go to your Bitcoin dominance, that has not changed, right? Bitcoin dominance, at least for the second half of 2025, it has been above 50%, right? It has been above 50% for the first half of 2025. In fact, for this whole year, it has been above 50%, but it also had dipped below, but the majority of the time it has been above 50%. All right, but you can see right now it's still on 59%. Right, great stuff. What does this mean? Bitcoin dominance. So we have the altcoin season and the Bitcoin dominance. Now the altcoin season, let me just quickly go to it. We're going to have a proper discussion on the altcoin season. This is an indication that tells us that whether we're in the Bitcoin season or the altcoin season. Now, whenever we're in the altcoin season, that's where now your altcoins start to move towards the upside. We're talking about Dogecoin, Litecoin, Cardano, Solana, and so forth and so on. Those are altcoins, right? Bitcoin is the father, and then you've got your altcoins, Ethereum and altcoin. So no, right, second largest crypto. So now at the moment we're in the Bitcoin season. Now I want you guys just to join the dots, right? According to this index, which you can get on any website you can search for, the altcoin season suggests that we're in the Bitcoin season. And then if you take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, we are well above 50%, right? On 59%. This simply screams that we're in the Bitcoin season, all right? However, if we go to Bitcoin right now, price action does not really correlate with what we saw from our indicators, right? The price of Bitcoin is still going down, even though indicators are screaming altcoin, but the price of Bitcoin is still going down. The banks continue to buy. You've got your Bitcoin treasury, right? Meaning companies that continue to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum to expand their reserve, but still the price is going down. What is the reason? Like I said a couple of sessions ago, it's pure manipulation. Pure manipulation. There's emotions now, right? We've got the crypto whales that are manipulating price. It's all about emotions right now. So if you are trading crypto, if you are a crypto trader, I think you might be aware of this, that indicators are pointing in one direction, but price is diverging. So we see a divergence of price from the indicators, all right? So this is as a result of manipulation. That's it. There's no two ways about this. Manipulation. So how then should you approach things? Like I always say, take everything one price action at a time, right? One price action at a time. So meaning, instead of you speculating in like a long-term direction, have your short-term directions in between, right? We can all speculate and say, look, we're going to go up. But we also want to be smart about it and also have short-term directions, because anything can happen. We've seen anything can happen, right? I think 2025, more than anything, should have taught everyone about crypto. That's my opinion. 2025 was a good lesson on crypto. Now imagine how 2026 is going to be. 2027 is going to be, all right? So this tells you that the world has already, tilted towards the crypto, but it's doing that in an aggressive pace. All right. So we've gone through the indicators. Let's have a look at price, guys, right? Many of you guys will remember that the last time I spoke about Bitcoin, right, which it takes a big chunk of the crypto market cap, right? So if you know crypto market cap, let me go to it, right? So we've got the crypto market cap, the total market cap, right? This is how much it is at the moment. But Bitcoin takes a big chunk of this market cap. So you will notice if you look at the chart of the crypto market cap and then compare it to Bitcoin, you will see it's almost similar. It's almost similar. Let me show you this. All right, let me show you this. So this chart that you see right now, it is the total market cap, right? The crypto total market cap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Bitcoin on the same chart, right? I want you guys to see something. Let me not do this. Let me maybe say, okay. All right. So the line chart is the Bitcoin price action. All right. The line chart is the Bitcoin price action. And then the candlesticks is the market cap. In fact, let me do this. Let me change this color. Right. So the line chart in red is the total market cap. All right. I want to show you guys something. It is interesting. Right. So this is the total market cap. And then you've got the crypto market cap, which is then this one here. I mean, the Bitcoin price. Right. Now, you tell me, do they look similar? Look at that. Look at that, right? This shows you that Bitcoin taking the majority or a big chunk of the market cap, whenever it reacts, right? The market cap also reacts. The market cap also reacts. That's why when we do analysis on crypto, we first look at Bitcoin and the market cap, because we know if Bitcoin changes, the market cap will also follow, right? And then from that, once we get our idea, our theory, then we go to the altcoins. So this is what's happening right now. You've got the crypto, you've got the altcoins, all right? So imagine the price of Bitcoin does this. What is going to happen with the crypto market cap? It's also going to do this. You see that? So we can use this kind of like a leading indicator, right? Kind of like a leading indicator for us to understand what's happening, all right? So going back. Let me do this. All right. So you've got the crypto market cap. And if you take a look at the Bitcoin price, all right. Yeah, it's almost the same, right? It is almost the same. There we go. So now I've got the Bitcoin price. So the last time we spoke, right, I told you guys about this price, this structure, right? It is around 88,761. That structure is going to be very important, because previously price broke above this structure. Price broke above this structure, gave us a massive break, a continuation, break of structure, came back for a higher low, and then gave us something very important, which is this here. I spoke about this on yesterday's trading room, right? You guys can go back and check it. So now we've got a couple of things that you're going to work with, right? Price is struggling around this zone. Obviously, you see now the big boys, the whales understand that there are retail traders. So in crypto, you have your whales, you've got your institutions, and then you've got your retail traders. Unfortunately, retail traders, we are the last, right? You've got your institutions, your whales. These are the big boys. They are trading large volumes. And then you've got your retail traders that are trading small volumes, unable to manipulate price. So my point is this, right? If I was a whale, and then I've been able to buy, sell, manipulate, right? If I'm looking at this right now, and I know that retail traders are waiting to buy this, right? They are waiting. I mean, they've been attempting to buy. They're still doing that. I'm not going to let them just have it easy. Think about it. If you are a whale, you're not gonna let the retail traders have it easy. You would try to do things like this. You see now, we've tapped into the zone. And then what is happening now? We're seeing a bit of a consolidation. All right. Now, if you go to a much lower time frame, and then you understand the concept of whales, the concept of waves, you would notice that this has not really shown us a reversal as yet. This is showing us a bit of bullish momentum, but at the same time, it's correcting. It's consolidating, it's correcting, and there's a bit of bullish momentum. But overall, we are still within the bearish structure. This is what we can see, right? So now, as a result, you would have two possibilities or two scenarios, right, with this. Either you're going to have this scenario that price could go up, or this scenario that price could continue trading within this bearish structure. So if I'm a whale, I'm not gonna let you have this easy, right? I'm gonna obviously try and make it very difficult for you as a retail trader, because wherever your orders are, I wanna go and hunt your orders, right? I wanna go and hunt your stop losses. I wanna manipulate just for you to get out, for me to get a better price, and then for price to start moving, right? Just to give you guys a bit of an idea. So yeah, so this is where we are right now. This price, I mentioned this price before, that is gonna be very important. We're likely gonna see a bit of activity, and it's important that you are a little bit patient with what price is gonna do here, because this can be the decider. I mean, right now we are 2 weeks away from 2026. 2 weeks away from 2026. If this is gonna reverse everything, then we're gonna start 2026. We're gonna start 2026 on a bullish note. That is if this structure holds price. If now the manipulation is over, the whales are done playing around, then 2026 we're likely gonna see price pushing up. So meaning we might start the year with a bullish Bitcoin, right? Which is gonna filter through to Ethereum and possibly other cryptos, right? So yeah, so that's basically from at least the weekly, the daily time frame. That is what we can see. All right. So let us now observe price from the lower time frame. Very important what price is doing here. All right. Now the market created this top. Let me do this. The market created this top, and now look at how it's been going down. Right. It's not convincing enough that there is a lot of momentum. So it's going down in like a channel, right? If you understand technical analysis, technical formations, and how price reacts to these technical formations like patterns and so forth and so on, you will understand that when price drops in like a channel like this, right? I want you guys to see how price dropped here. Look at how price dropped here and compare it to this. So this is strong, this is weak, right? So you will then understand that the majority of the time, or let me put it like this, there's a higher probability that we're going to get a break towards the upside because of this formation, right? Now, if we then combine everything together to see where is this formation forming, right? Where do we see this pattern? We see this pattern on the structure. On the structure here. That's where we see this pattern. So clearly there's something happening here. There's a lot of profit taking that's happening. There's a lot of buys that is happening. Also, there's a lot of sells that are happening as well, right? But from a pure technical point of view, we have this formation, which probabilities are high that we're gonna break towards the upside. But this doesn't mean we are gonna, we're gonna reverse altogether, right? It could just give us this possibility, right, for price to go back one more time to that area. We also have this structure, which is important. We keep an eye around this zone, right? This is the previous low the market formed, higher low. Price went up, it's coming back down. Seems like it's bouncing. Look at how aggressive price went up. So the market is bouncing here. But now it's going down in this formation, in a corrective, you can say an internal corrective pattern or a channel. All right. And so from here, we would then anticipate Bitcoin to make its way towards the upside, right? To go back to the zone. To go back to the zone here. To go back to that zone. All right. So yeah. So this is what we can see. All right. This, unless obviously the market breaks below the zone and goes down, which it will give us that confirmation after the fact. But at the moment, we are looking at the zone. We are looking at price breaking above the structure here. At price breaking above the structure. And then from there, we can then say, okay, now we're likely going to go back to that top. We're likely going to go back to this top. All right. So yeah, so that is how the Bitcoin price is looking at the moment. We could easily go back to that top, possibly break the top as well, but we'll see. We'll see, right? But yeah, this is how things are looking at the moment. So let's see what's going to happen. We're just 2 weeks away from 2026. Is this going to be the reversal we've been waiting for? If you have a look at your monthly chart, your weekly chart, everything is still bullish, right? Everything is still bullish. There we go. So now we're just waiting for that higher low to form. It might form where we are right now, or it might try to tap this structure one more time, right? It might try to tap the structure one more time. Whatever the case is, we're anticipating that this can go beyond its all-time high, right? Maybe reach 130,000, maybe $140,000. All right. So yeah, so this is what we're seeing from Bitcoin. All right. And then you've got Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum and Bitcoin takes the lead, Ethereum follows. All right. So once Bitcoin starts moving, we can anticipate Ethereum to follow. But now I've also spoken about this price here. If you guys remember, we spoke about this price that should it come back down here, it's going to be, it's important that you keep an eye on this price. It's going to be very important to keep an eye because it might struggle a little bit. So look what's happening at the moment, right? We have that, basically what we saw on Bitcoin. We have that corrective pattern, that consolidation, which could expand itself if it wants. We'll just have to wait and see. But this is what we're seeing at the moment, right? So we go to the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, we can see that we are trying to form some higher lows here, right? We are creating these higher lows or forming these higher lows. So therefore, we also have a channel on the 4-hour time frame, right? We also have this channel that we can use as a formation. There we go. So now look at where the market is. The market is on that zone. We are creating higher lows. So it seems like we could break towards the upside, right? We could break towards the upside, provided that we break above this zone. So if we break above this zone, then I see Ethereum going back to 3,000, is it 300? Yeah, 240. So 3,240 or 3,440, right? Let's just round it off, 3,440. So these are the two possible targets I would anticipate price to reach once it breaks there, right? Looking at things like this. There. All right. So now, if you go to our exchange, I'm on Ethereum right now. You see, it's Ethereum USDT, same price action. So I've done the breakdown. So if you go to that now, we are looking at the following, right? We are looking at this channel here. That is the channel right there. All right. I'm on Ethereum right now, Ethereum USDT. And we spoke about, let me see if we can show. Yeah, there we go. We spoke about this price action. Let me just draw a line here. There we go. So that structure there. All right. So the market is going down in a channel. So we know that this is a popular formation, which then breaks price towards the upside. So we have this structure as well. So we just need price to break above the channel, above the structure. And then we know, hey, look, this is the possibility of going back to 3,240 or 3,340 right there. Right, one more push towards the upside. Something like this. There we go. There we go. Right. So this would be my take on Ethereum and Bitcoin. let's go to Bitcoin USDT. Same thing. All right, same thing. We've already done the analysis, right? So we're looking at this channel right here. We're looking at this channel and we're looking at this structure, right? This would be kind of like the last structure that price should break. In fact, yeah, let me use this like this. There we go. So should we break towards the upside, then we have a possibility of price going back to $94,600. $94,600 should we break above that. All right. And then obviously we're looking at this possibility. Right. I don't want to have too much lines, but just to show you that possibility there, we're looking at something like this. There. All right. So yeah, so let's see what's going to happen, guys. Ethereum, Bitcoin, just a quick one as we wrap up the year. Remember, what's happening right now is just pure manipulation. That's what's happening right now. Pure manipulation. The banks are buying, institutions are adopting crypto, they are buying crypto. You now have a lot of outlets that are accepting crypto payments now, right? In South Africa, there's already a few that are accepting crypto payments, like your Pick and Pay. I think, I'm not so quite sure, but I think Discam. I'm not sure. I'll just have to verify this. You've got these outlets that are starting to accept crypto. All right, and then so the banks are buying. That's obviously in place, but now prices going down. Manipulation. So this manipulation, at some point, it is going to end. And once it ends, we are likely going to see strong movements on the crypto market. Bitcoin leading the pack, followed by Ethereum. You also have Ripple there. You also have Cardano, Solana, Dogecoin. They're going to follow suit. It's just a matter of time, right? So let's see if 2026 will start with a bullish crypto. If that is the case, then we could see the first half of 2026 being bullish on crypto, or crypto being bullish for the first half of 2026. All right, we could see something like that. So just a sneak peek, guys, just to give you guys some nuggets for you to use. We've gone through some indicators. We've gone through what's happening around the world. There's really nothing much to unpack at the moment, but we will have that conversation of stable coins, right? But in the meantime, tdmarkets.io, tdme.io, that is the website to get you started. Sign up and register and claim your 50 ZAC, right? When you register and when you make your first deposit, another 50 ZAC. Then it will take you through to our exchange, right? On YouTube, we have the tutorials on how to use the exchange on YouTube, right? So maybe have those, look at those. But yeah, I think you sorted. You'll be sorted. You'll be sorted. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is basically how things are looking in the crypto side of things. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned. Let's look forward to 2026. Let's see how the crypto market will react. But we could start seeing that bullish crypto sooner than later. Sooner than later. All right. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining us. And also have yourselves a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, right? Wish you guys all the best this festive season. Wish you guys are going to be safe. You can always contact us on care@tdmarkets.com. But our sessions, education sessions, the TD Markets Academy is going on a break. This is the last session for this year. We're going to see you guys back in January the 5th of Jan. And yeah, we'll take it from there. There's a lot of things that are coming up in 2026. Make sure that you are subscribed, to our social media pages. And yeah, you guys will see as things unfold, right? So yeah, so that's it from myself, guys. Have yourselves a good one. Enjoy your festive season. Be safe. And we're hoping to see you guys back next year, right? And remember, take it easy. If it's easy, take it home. Enjoy yourselves, guys. Have a good one.